So our last biblical virtue, our last fruit of the Spirit, is self-control. And this is, I think, a tough one. The saying, and this comes from 1 Timothy 3. Starting in the first verse, it says, the saying is trustworthy. If anyone aspires to the office of overseer, he desires a noble task. Therefore, an overseer must be above reproach, the husband of one wife, sober-minded, self-controlled, respectable, hospitable, eager to teach, or able to teach, not a drunkard, not violent but gentle, not quarrelsome, not a lover of money. It goes on and on. But obviously what we're going to be focusing in on this morning or this afternoon, whenever you're watching the video. Sorry, I record these in the morning, so that's a little slip on my part. My apologies. Is the self-control. That's what we're going to focus in on. And self-control is the ability to hold yourself accountable in a wide variety of situations to the values that you hold. It's reacting how you should react, not how you want to react. An example is if someone drops $100 bill on the floor, going and handing it back to them instead of pocketing it and saying, "Oh, I think you dropped this." That's an instance of self-control. I'd like to think most people would do that. Other examples of self-control are taking care of your body and exercising and eating healthy. That takes a lot of self-control. Not watching things on the internet that you shouldn't be watching. That is self-control. This applies to so many areas of our life, and I think the tough part about self-control is, of all of the virtues we've talked about from our texts and from all these texts we've been looking at, it's the hardest, I think, to build on, because it's such a thing up here. But what I'm going to advocate for, and this is kind of stepping into some practicality for you, is like anything else, it takes practice. So practice self-control in things that are a little bit easier and more like in a more controlled situation, to help build your self-control, to help build, I guess, those mental reflexes to step in. So when you're in an uncontrolled situation, when you're acting on reflex, that self-control is better trained, better equipped. So some examples I have for you, and these are things that I use in my life to help build up my self-control. And they sound silly, and maybe some of them are, but I think it's helped me grow. One example is I take freezing cold showers. It is not because I enjoy them, it's because it takes discipline and self-control for me to turn on the cold water and step into the shower when it's freezing cold. Like this is not this is not an enjoyable experience. It's something I have to force myself to do what I would not instinctively do. Another example of self-control, a good place to practice self-control is on your phone. And there are apps that can help you do this. That will, like, you can set a time limit for your Facebook app, your Twitter app, your Reddit app, your Clash of Clans, your game, whatever your phone app of choice is. There are other apps that you can install on your phone, and they'll say, you've been on this app for 10 minutes, you've spent 30 minutes on this app today, and it'll cut you out. It'll lock the app. And that helps, that's scaffolding to help you build up that self-control with. So that's kind of what I would advocate for you today, is work with smaller things that are in more controlled situations to help build up your self-control for those situations, those circumstances that are outside of your control. I hope that's helpful. And that is our conclusion of this series on biblical virtues. So with that, brothers and sisters, go in peace. Serve the Lord. Thanks be to God.